Hi, my name is Levitt Brown. I am a student at William Woods University, enrolled in the master's program for athletic administration and activities. Today, I am here to do a video presentation on sports law. There are four broad rights relevant to sports that all citizens enjoy. These are personal freedom, civil rights, due process, and privacy. A third broad right granted by the Constitution is the right of due process. Under this right, no one has the right to interfere in the lives of others without first proceeding in a legal and equitable manner. When athletes are denied their rights to life, liberty, and property, the Constitution guarantees them their rights cannot be denied without notice and a hearing. In other words, the opportunity to make their case. The case that I am presenting to you today concerns the right of due process. Mark D. Hall versus the University of Minnesota. This court is presented with a question concerning the academic standing and athletic eligibility of a University of Minnesota basketball player. The plaintiff in this action, Mark D. Hall, is a 21-year-old black senior at Defendant University of Minnesota. He is also a formidable basketball player who, up to this season, played for the University of Minnesota's men's varsity basketball team. He is before the court seeking an emergency injunction ordering the University of Minnesota to admit him to a degree program. It is a prerequisite to the athletic eligibility laws. The plaintiff was denied admission twice at the University Without Walls, hereafter UWW, a college within the defendant university, and once at the General College. By failing to enroll in a degree program, the plaintiff lost his eligibility to play basketball on the defendant's university basketball team, according to Charles Leisefeld, Director of Registration and Records and Scheduling. Defendant in Lysel contends that in order for the plaintiff to remain eligible to participate on the basketball team, he must be a candidate for a degree under Rule 1 and Rule 1A, Part 2 of the Big Ten Handbook. The plaintiff does meet Big Ten eligibility standards with respect to grade point average and credit accumulation, but unless he is enrolled as a candidate for a degree, he is ineligible to practice or play on the defendant university basketball team. According to the coach of the university's team, the plaintiff is the only player he has known who has met the grade and credit criteria of the Big Ten but has been refused admission to the degree program. The plaintiff filed this action on December 15, 1981, alleging that the defendants rejected his two applications to the UWW without affording him due process and in bad faith in an arbitrary manner. On December 29, 1981, the plaintiff moved this court for a preliminary injunction compelling his admission to a degree program. The plaintiff states that unless he is declared eligible for intercollegiate basketball competition on January 4, 1982, he will be ineligible to participate on the basketball team for all of the winter quarter of 1982, which comprises all but 2 or 3 games. Unless relief is granted, according to evidence, the plaintiff will miss the opportunity to participate in basketball his senior year and consequently miss a significant opportunity to be a second-round draft choice of the National Basketball Association, thereby acquiring a probable guarantee of this first year's compensation as a player in the National Basketball Association. The plaintiff's argument in the court decision. The plaintiff's argument is that his application for admission was not solely judged on the basis of his application and the information therein, that application. He argues that each time the admissions committee reviewed his application, which was twice, they recommended that he be admitted. Only after the intervention of the directors and the communication of information outlined in a memorandum did the plaintiff's application for admission be denied. In that memorandum, there was negative information concerning the plaintiff and allegations of wrongdoing. However, on both rejection letters sent to the plaintiff, none of the allegations noted in the memorandum were listed as reason for the plaintiff's failure to gain admission to UWW. The plaintiff asserts because he did not receive this information as to why his application was denied, he was not given the opportunity to answer these said allegations, and because of that fact, the plaintiff asserts that he has been denied his right of due process of law arising under the 14th Amendment. The defendant's argument is that its interest is administrative and that an administrative burden would be put on the university if it was required to have a hearing or other due process safeguards in place for every rejection of every student who applies on the university. It would place a tremendous burden financially and administrative on the university. The court's decision. The court used 4 factors to determine whether a preliminary injunction should be issued. They are: 1, the threat of irreparable harm to the moving party; 2, the state of balance between harm and injury that granting the injunction will inflict on other parties; 3, the public interest; and 4, the probability that the movement will succeed on the merits of the claim. With respect to the first factor, if the plaintiff is not eligible to play basketball by January 4th of 1982, he will not play his senior year. This poses a substantial threat to his chances of a no-cut contract in the National Basketball Association. Thus, it will be irreparable. The defendant states that if the court orders the university to enroll the plaintiff into a degree program, its academic standards and integrity will be undermined. The court was skeptical in that the athletes are not recruited for academic purposes, and more so would not envision they would be on the dean's list. The court's decision is that he can afford no conceivable harm to the defendant, university. And the court is of the opinion that the plaintiff has shown a substantial probability of success on his claim regarding UWW. And the court is concerned in the manner in which UWW process would strongly suggest that he has been treated disparately and in a manner violative of his due process. The court's opinion is that the plaintiff was given no notice nor any opportunity to answer the allegations leveled against him by the dean of the General College. It is equally conceivable that the plaintiff would have had a good answer to these charges had he been given an opportunity to respond. Based on those factors and balancing all those factors, the court concluded that an injunction should be issued requiring the defendant university to admit the plaintiff into a degree program on January 4th, 1982, and to declare him eligible to compete in intercollegiate varsity basketball competition. What this case says to me is that an athletic administrator, there will be implications when you do not give a person or an athlete or student athlete the opportunity to express their opinion as to what the situation is concerning them. I want to thank you for listening to my presentation. Thank you.